Hey folks, Wish SE up here in New Hampshire. I've been asked by a subscriber to share with you why I like the M&P Pistol so much. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about some of the things that I really like, some of the things I don't like so much, but why, at the bottom line, at the end of the day, why I believe the M&P line works for many, many people. So first of all, the guns have great ergonomics. It's a natural pointing pistol. Almost anybody who picks up the pistol, whether they like the pistol or not, when they pick up the pistol and they simply come out to point, they'll find their sights are pretty much on. There's not a lot of adjustment. It's a natural pointing pistol. A lot of that has to do with the ergonomics of the gun. So the big one for me is the shape of the frame itself and this very large beaver tail style grip that you see on a lot of modified 1911s. What that allows you to do, now in the case of 1911, obviously that's a grip safety, but in the case of the M&P line, what that allows you to do is as you're getting a firing grip on the gun, it really drives your hand up high in line with the bore axis. The higher your hand is in gripping the pistol, the less felt recoil you're going to have, because this space right here in the tang and that webbing of your hand is going to join. So that's a huge advantage. Secondly, it has a low bore axis which is driving the recoil straight back into your hand, so it's more of a push than a flip based on how low the bore axis is in relation to the hand. Third thing, you can replace the back straps. You can swap out the back straps by removing this part and taking the back strap off. There are 3 different sizes that the M&Ps come with: small, medium, and large. I prefer the small back strap because of the size of my hands. So depending on the size of your hands, your ability to swap out that back strap and make that change is going to customize that grip for you depending on hand size. The other thing that works well and that is proven out to me is durability. So in the case of this M&P Pro with the 5-inch barrel that I've had now for several years, I have put approximately, I don't know, I stopped counting after 30,000 rounds, but we put 30,000 rounds through this gun. So if you think about that, your average person out there who is, shooting occasionally probably is going to put a couple thousand rounds, maybe a year, through the gun. Well, this one has been used a lot for training, a lot for instruction, and a lot just because I love to shoot and I love to practice. So 30,000 plus rounds through the gun is still growing strong. The only thing I've done is I have replaced the recoil spring in the gun a couple of times. Other than that, nothing else. What does that say? Well, it says to me the guns are incredibly durable. Finish on the guns is good. I don't think it's as good as the Glock, and people debate that with me, but there's a lot of finish wear that I've seen only that started happening relatively soon in a short period of time doing presentations from the holster. Not a deal breaker to me. It's a stainless steel slide. It's not going to wear it. But seeing that kind of finish wear right away, I don't know that the quality of this finish is really as good as it could be. So that's kind of a knock. The other thing that is for me as primarily someone who shot Glocks for almost 20 years was the total lack of trigger reset. Now, some people don't care about that. For me, that's very important. So as I press the shot and I press my trigger, as the gun cycles, the slide cycles and reciprocates, I want to hear and feel that trigger resetting. That allows me to, only take up enough space, enough slack to have the shot break again. That to me is one downside. That is fixed fairly simply with a part by Apex called Reset Assist Mechanism. I have a brand new Pro Series 4 1/4 inch here that we're going to have some very nice work done too in terms of Cerakoting. We're going to kind of make this a custom fancy gun here. So this is stock trigger, nothing's there. And it's okay, but what is frustrating to me is there's no tactile reset to this gun. It's just not there, at least is what I'd like. So that is a slight knock. It's fixable. It's just, you know, a personal preference, what I would like. I'd like to have that nice distinct reset. Some people don't care. Some people don't even notice it. Not a big deal. Then the other thing, and this is just because I'm a simple man, is the fact that the gun, as you're getting in really to work, when you detail strip the gun, it takes you pushing out roll pins, and it is far more complicated. There are more springs, and the setup is more complicated than the Glocks. Because I've been working on Glocks for so long, it is just a piece of cake to detail strip the gun in about 2 minutes max. Here we've got to get it on, we've got to punch pins out, we've got all these little springs, in my mind, little springs all over the place, which is just, the complexity is something that I consider a downside. I consider a downside because if you had to fix it and you didn't have the ability to drive all those pins out, and you didn't have multiple different sizes of tools to do that, it can be a real pain. The Glock, on the other hand, man, it's one punch, you can punch everything out, you can totally detail strip it. So that is one thing that I'm not crazy about. Again, that's not a deal breaker because most people are not going to be into the internals of the gun. They're not going to shoot a gun 30,000 plus rounds. They're not going to shoot 400 rounds a week. Your average person just isn't going to do that. So the other thing that I like about the M&P line, and again similar to the Glock line is, and even the XDs, is that their compact version, so this is the M&P 9C, takes standard capacity magazine. Standard capacity 17 round magazine here will fit in my compact, which means I've got a compact gun, right? And I've got a 12 round magazine here, I've got a 17 round magazine there. That's fairly decent amount of capacity, and for me that's really as much as I feel that I need as a civilian in a everyday carry situation. This gun, in marriage with other standard capacity full-size magazines, is a really good setup to me. In summary, I really like the M&P line. It's just, for me, it's the most natural pointing gun. And I remember, and John, who, if John watches this video, my friend John, outstanding IDPA shooter and great guy, I shot his M&P and I said, man, I love the ergonomics, I hate the trigger. And he said, well, just keep shooting it for a while and see what you think. Ultimately, the trigger is just a training issue and you getting used to it. In the case, I had work done to it, Apex parts, some other polishing done on it with the M&P Pro. And that has made a huge difference, and since that time I pretty much shot this platform exclusively. So anyway, that's my explanation of why I think this is an awesome platform, and if you're in the market and looking for striker-fired guns, I have proven to myself long-term durability and performance of these guns, and that they will put up with a lot of abuse. Thanks so much for watching, certainly appreciate it. Sorry for the long-winded explanation, but there's a lot to talk about. Finally, and as always, stay safe.